What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. It's going down, season 5, episode 4. Hey, go ahead. Let them know. This is a returning guest right here.
What, the third time, Coach? Third time for charm.
At least, indeed.
Yep. We got a 24-year veteran in the game, Pitts.
Hey, listen, we got a phenomenal coach, mentor, father, friend. Listen, but before we jump into it, because we just excited, we overly excited sometimes, especially Push. He don't know how to control himself. But listen, it's going down. I'm your boy Pitts. I'm Push. Bowie TV, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11. You can catch all our content. Nothing less. Let's get it. Let's go. We back in the building. Season 5, episode 4. Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Coach Damon Wilson, Morgan State Bears. Let's go ahead and get into it. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing well, fellas. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Hey, listen, we always love to have you.
Yeah, welcome back, man. We see, we just going to get right into it. We start talking about recruiting, Coach. We see y'all had a big signing day. About 15 cats y'all got coming in. How y'all feel about the young cats that's coming in?
I feel pretty good. And we got about 6 or 7 of those guys are starting mid-year, so they'll be starting classes in the next 2 weeks. We have some freshmen, like I said, that'll be starting back in the summertime. But I feel as though the coaching staff did a great job getting some of our needs met. We still will sign some additional guys during a regular signing period that first Wednesday in February. But all in all, man, we're really excited about the guys that we were bringing to our family.
Before we jump too far ahead into the new family coming in, we can just kind of go ahead and do a replay of the 2023 season, man. Guys were one game short, being able to, get your nod in for the Celebration Bowl. What were your thoughts, going through that game, just leading up to that point? Because you guys battled all year. We can go game for game, Towson game, North Carolina Central game, even the game against Akron, the last minute fumble, games that were within reach that Morgan honestly could have already had 3 more wins in their notch. Ball just didn't bounce their way.
Yeah, you mentioned, very tough non-conference schedule. I think we lost 4 games by 7 or fewer points. So we're right there in the ball games. Now we have to learn how to close those games out and win those games. And a lot of times when you don't win those games, it's because of something that you're not doing throughout the week, something really small that we must address and correct so we can win those games moving forward. But it's all a part of this process. Those games we lost last year may have been double-digit losses the year before, 2 years ago. But now, you're minimizing, I guess, the point total, if that makes sense. And now it's time to come on the other side of that and win some ball games. I think we have a very good football team coming back. We had a bunch of guys competing and fighting throughout the year, and did a great job. I'm really excited about where we are.
And I'm sorry, real quick, jump in before we move to Push's question. You actually, pushed moved to my next statement was that regardless of what the score looked like, because like I said, the Towson game, we were behind early, right? And the battle and the fight and the players to never give up, because I believe that game went to overtime. Went to extra. Not that game. It was the game after that.
Yes.
Right. But it still showed, even the Towson game and then that next home game, the fight in your players never stopped. Like, how motivating is that to see that no matter what the deficit may look like, I already know that I got a group of guys that's not going to quit and lay down.
That's something we try to instill in our guys day one when we touch down on campus. As long as time's on the clock, we're going to fight. We're going to push. And that's something that I was really excited to see the guys do. You look at our offensive line this past year, I think we started 3 freshmen throughout the year, 3 different freshmen throughout the year. So, it's end up starting a freshman quarterback on the second half of the season. It's a lot of good things coming out at Morgan State University in regards to our football program. And like I said, I'm excited. And we have a good nucleus of guys coming back. And those guys are hungry. Those guys want to be on the other side of the scoreboard now. So it's not about going into a good winter conditioning and leading into spring ball and get ready to roll for the next fall.
With the guys that are coming back, will it be a senior-based led team or still a lot more younger guys?
I think it's probably going to go more juniors. We'll have our handful of seniors, but we're more junior heavy with regards to our classification and on the football field. But out of those juniors, there's some guys that start for us. Those some guys that really play for us and that we're counting on, along with the seniors that we do have. returning back in the program.
Hey, we see you reaching back to your old ways, man, to your old school, man. We see you picked up our boy Jaden, Jaden Carter. You know,
Jaden is definitely going to come in and fill a void. You know, we had a couple guys graduate that play the position that Jaden has the ability to play, so he's going to get an opportunity this spring to show that he can play at the FCS level, and hopefully continue some of the success he's had at Bowie, bring it on up the road to Morgan with him.
And he definitely has that, what I call the, Coach Morgan factor. I mean, Coach Wilson factor, and what you look for out of your players. One thing that across the board is that it's not just what they do on the field, but academically as well. And that was something that you and Push were kind of talking to about before we went rolling live. But it shows, and it's really, again, giving you your flowers for the potential that you only expect and demand for them on the field, but off the field in the classroom as well.
It's impossible, and I didn't know this at first when I first came a head coach, but it's impossible to have success and win championships on the field if you're not doing it in the classroom. You can't run around and have a whole lot of 2.0s or 2.1 GPAs thinking you have a chance to be successful. And so we're very fortunate. I think we got roughly about 30 guys or so right at that 3.0 or higher mark right now. And we're excited about that. But our goal is to have a team GPA of over 3.0, and we're knocking on the door now.
We can't move past that, man. We gotta
listen. We're gonna shout some of these guys out. Some of the guys that were on the 3.0 list, we got Jordan Amadi, Marvin Atutasi, Reginald Barnes, Trayvon Branch, Malcolm Brown, Daniel Casillas, Jaden Kofan, Andre Crawley, DeJour Dixon, Javon Fontori, Keithan Gooden, Graylin Holland, Eric Hunter, Quincy Johnson, Javate Joseph, Keith Joseph Clark, Matthew Lowe, Atoro Maddox, Eric McCown, Javon Morton, Ferdinand. I don't know how to say the last one. Something like that. Something I can't pronounce it. We got another one I can't pronounce. Kid Book Kim Ojo.
There you
Joseph
go.
Awumi, James Riddick, Keyshawn Scott, Demary Shipley, Tyler Wilkins, and Elijah Williams. Congratulations, fellas.
That's big time, guys. I appreciate you guys acknowledging those guys. That's big time, and that's something that we're going to do once we get back on campus. We're going to acknowledge those guys as well and have us a academic lunch or something just to honor those guys, because and you name some guys that, I guess what, they're all Americans on the football field as well. Yeah, so once again, when your true ball players are getting it done in the classroom, that's when you got a chance to have success.
And you're right. You got your Shipleys, you got your Elijah Williams, you got your Mortons. I mean, just naming a couple of them that, when you talk about one thing, when we come talk about HBCUs, we kind of talked about this at the round table that we had one time, Coach. And we talk about telling a story from an HBCU perspective, not an outside perspective. Mm-hmm. And one of the knocks that, are granted towards HBCUs is graduation rate by the athletes and in regards that they're not students first and athletes second. And we like to point these moments out because that story can no longer be a narrative. So as long as we need to keep poking it, and with the success is in the pudding, like it's there. So it's not like we're making up the numbers. We got to keep plugging it away, because I think that's one of those negatives that people who didn't attend HBCUs, who don't go to HBCUs, who really have no affiliation at all, they try to spin a narrative that has nothing to do when it comes to student athletes at HBCUs. So we appreciate you and all that you do, and the guidance and the the mentorship and the leadership that you give them as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, Coach, just to add to that, man, I feel like if you can't be disciplined enough to study by yourself and do the right things when ain't nobody looking, how can I trust you on the field, Coach?
It's impossible.
Yeah. So that's important, man.
We'll be remiss too, also not to shout out Coach BJ Sherman. We'd be remiss not to shout out Coach Sewell,
Coach Riddick,
Coach Fortnoy, Coach Riddick, Coach Fan,
Coach Coleman,
the defensive back, Coach
Smith, Coach Brawley Evans, Coach BT, Sport, all those guys, man. With it's impossible, man, to run a program or establish a program without good guys around you. And that's one thing I'm very fortunate to have. And I've always had some good coaches around me, and they understand what our calling is and what our responsibilities are. And that's to impact these young men's lives, man. And also, win some championships while we're doing that. And I have a bunch of good guys around me that understand that.
And it shows because, this was a handpicked team for you.
Yes, sir.
This is again, in my opinion, it continues to show not only, your thirst for excellence from your student athletes, but also the coaches that you pick to be around the student athletes. There's no mixed messages. Like, the standard is the standard across the board. So that too should be commended and talked about, and want to definitely give a shout out to your coaches for the job well done that they've been doing as well.
Well, Pitts actually just pushed me into the next question, man. So, because in an interview in 2002, Coach, with HBCU Gang Day, you talked about getting back to the tradition and the glory days. Do you feel that your guys are starting to understand now the legacy of MSU football?
I think so. And it's one thing that we started when we got in as a staff was make sure those guys understood the history of Morgan State University football program. And so every summer when we come into camp, those guys do reports on the 4 Hall of Famers that we have that played at Morgan State University. They do reports on Coach Banks, those guys, Coach Hurts, those guys that really laid the foundation for Morgan State, understand the championship teams that participated at the university, and understand what it means to put that Morgan uniform on. It's a lot of rich history at our university, and I think it's important that we continue to tell that story and get these guys to understand it's a blessing to play at the university and represent the university.
Absolutely.
When we talk about, knowing the tradition and, challenging them in ways that they probably would not have expected, and we talk about recruiting, right? And now we're talking about bringing new guys in to also, give them the same opportunity per se, to see if they fit the Morgan way. And how has that been for you? Because this was your year, like from top to bottom, you're now able to really go out, have that full season, you're going through now in your full season plus the recruiting. How has that been for you?
It's been great. This is our second recruiting cycle that we've actually had an opportunity to go through as a staff. And it's been great, just as meeting new families and telling everybody about, Morgan State University is exciting, making sure that we identify the right people to fit what we're looking for, not just on the field, but off the field as well. We have to bring guys that can matriculate in the classroom and get it done in the classroom, but also have the ability to be a student athlete, and understand the playbook and understand what the demands of and the responsibilities of being a student athlete at Morgan State. So it's important, and it's been exciting. I think we added some good pieces in December, and we're looking forward to adding a few more in February.
This one's for the coaches, Coach Wilson. Can you explain to some of the young coaches that are listening and watching why it's important to build good relationships in your city? Because we see you snag 8 up from the DMV area just based off your relationship with schools and people.
It's extremely important, man. We're based, our universities in Maryland, and in order for us to have success, we must win and recruit in our backyard. But all of starts with relationship building, and just make sure you're spending time not just recruiting the student athletes, but going to the local Boys and Girls Club, participating in events in the community, so they can see you not just as the football coach at Morgan State, but a positive figure in the community. And you'll be surprised how much that helps you with regards to recruiting. But it also is helping you give some of these young men and students around the area an idea of what they want to do. Some of these young men don't have the dads in the household, the uncles they can look up to. So it's important as a college football coach to understand your role may expand outside of just the football field. And that's something that we embrace and we run with as a coaching staff.
And I wanted to rap to you, Coach, about getting my 7U football team up there to come bust it up with y'all up there, man. So we need to talk about that.
That's easy. All you have to do is let me know day at a time, man. We get that done. That's easy. Anytime you bring a 7-year-olds on campus to see a college campus, that's amazing. Most of the time you don't touch foot on a college campus until your high school days at some point. But I think the earlier we expose them to college campuses in those environments, those are something that that's something that the students can believe and they can achieve later down the line.
Before we go to our next question, there was a question from the audience, one on Facebook, and it said that Coach go to Suitland High School.
5200 Silver Hill Road, yes, sir.
I was kind of, I was kind of in my hater juice for a minute about really posting it and putting it up there since I went to Largo.
Yes, sir.
And I really did feel some type of way about the question, Mitchell. You didn't have to ask that question. You could have waited, and I could have asked Coach off here. But when we talk about the Morgan way, Coach, and the standard, can you kind of give a little, can you give a background on what that means to those listeners who may not know?
I mean, a person that's going to be, disciplined, a person that's going to, a man of integrity. You're looking to try to maximize the I guess the adjectives, the words that don't require any true talent. We're looking at people that have those intangibles that it may not require you to be the fastest or the biggest, but you could be on time. You could be disciplined. You could be respectful. When you have those characteristics, man, I think you could be successful, not just in our program, but in life.
Okay. Coach is on fire right now. Coach, this one kind of off topic, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because it's so prevalent right now and it's changing the game, right? This question is about the portal, right? Right? Do you feel there should be some guidelines to it? Because we seeing guys coming right in, leaving right back out the next year, right?
Right.
I think that may hurt a team, right? I think there should be some guidelines with that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I understand it's a new era of college football. I respect the people's decision to enter the portal and go to different places and that sort of thing. I just want to make sure the young people are making the right decision, not just because it's socially accepted now, or it's like a trend, if you will. Just make sure you're making a decision that's best for you and your family, and making sure academically it doesn't get lost. The other thing about that is, right, you look at these are dads leaving households or leaving universities, and you want to make sure those guys understand how important it is to persevere through certain things when it's appropriate. But other times, it may not be a good fit for a student, so you understand that. But let's hope he's making the decision for the right reasons.
And before I go to the question, pivot back to the portal, we had a question that said, how did Bowie State prepare you for the experience at Morgan State? But the experience, and just before Coach started, and I know he'll chime in, the experience started before Bowie State, Tennessee State and other spots that you were at, Coach. But I'll let you, not Tennessee State.
Texas Southern.
Texas Southern. Mm-hmm. I'll let you, but just wanted to let them know that, Coach Wilson didn't just start at Bowie State.
Well, the Bowie State experience, that prepared me for a lot. You got to understand, I've received 2 degrees from Bowie State University, so it prepared me for life. But from a coaching standpoint, at the Division II level, there are a lot of things that you may not have access to, as far as whether it's scholarships, whether it's coaching staff allotment, whatever it may be. It gives you the opportunity to kind of be well-versed in a number of things. And one of the things that I had to do was learn how to delegate when I went to Morgan State. I was so accustomed to doing so many things at Bowie State University that I don't necessarily have to do now, because I have 10 other coaches that have the ability to complete that task themselves. So it helped me understand how to do a lot of jobs and how to deal with a lot of different entities on campus, but also it also prepared me and taught me how to delegate and be prepared to develop coaches on my staff so they can too be prepared to be head coaches when they get the opportunity.
When we talk about the portal, Coach, just go backwards a little bit, and Push kind of alluded to how the portal has changed in the game. We spoke with Coach Bernard Clark, one of the good friend of yours at Robert Morris University, and we talked extensively with him about this too. And one of the questions I asked him on this past week was, how does the portal affect scholarships? Then I was advised that, so it kind of does when it comes to high school students, because those portal students are taking scholarships as well. When you talk about the amount of kids that now jump in the portal whenever they feel, for whatever reason they feel, whether it's a personal or they're just underperforming and they feel like they're not getting a shot, whatever the situation is, right? When you're recruiting, does this play a part mentally when, trying to figure out, if I come to your home and I'm giving you a scholarship, am I going to get the full potential of you? Is it just 1 year and you feel like you've done so good that you're going to leave us? Or, because for me, it's not a litmus test, but it's kind of a loyalty for me. It's like you gave me an opportunity when no one else would. And now that I've used your platform to raise and elevate my own talents, I'm now going to, and I understand about people wanting to better themselves and put themselves in better positions, but it kind of doesn't do coaches a fair opportunity either, because it's like, I came out, I sat on your parents' couch, I recruited you, you got here, you balled out, and now because you balled out, other people now see the potential that they ignored in the beginning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's definitely something to that, but it was our job to make sure that we recruit people not just for our football program, but perfect fits for our university. I think if you really sell your university and get that student athlete to fall in love with that university as well as your program, I think that helps you. But what you just mentioned, that's something you're not going to be 100% on keeping everybody. You want to have guys for 4 to 5 years, but those days may be past us. But it's our job to make sure every time that young man is in our program that we're making him a better person. So that's what we want to do. We want to focus on that. And at the same time, get our program better. Because if we're making guys, if they're all conference, all Americans, guess what? And if they're getting those individual accolades, we're probably having success as a football team as well. So it goes hand in hand. And it helps us recruit.
And shout out to so_thankful10 on IG. He just made a comment. He said, don't think about how you feel. Think about what you want.
That's it. That's something I tell my guys I've been telling my guys for a long time. And that's it. Because in life, you're going to go through some tough challenges, whether it's on the field or off the field. And if you get caught up in how you feeling right then, you may not see the big picture. So don't think about how you feel. Think about what you want. That's Delano Johnson.
Bowie State, right?
That's it.
I thought so. I didn't want to dump it out there, but I thought I smelled some black and gold in that chat.
That's back in 2009. I think Delano was on his team in 9 over to 2011 or 12, and he went on to play with the Texans and did some things in the CFL. Was doing a great job in the Baltimore community now.
Shout out to Delano Johnson, man, and all that he's doing in the community. Definitely want to give you your flowers too, man.
Yeah. You had said something about your staff, Coach. Could you talk about the importance of having a competent, knowledgeable staff that's on the same page?
It's extremely important, man. Their job as assistant coaches are to kind of make me look good. My job is to make the president and the athletic director look good. We want to make sure that we're putting positive products on the football field and making sure that we're developing our student athletes. I've been fortunate to have, like I said, very good coaches around me from day one as a head coach. And Coach Sewell and Coach Reddick, they've been probably around me the longest. Coach Reddick's been with me the entire time, and as a head coach, and Coach Sewell's been with me, I want to say 14 out of the 16 years or so. And those guys understand what I'm about, understand what the mission is, and it starts with me. Then it goes down the line. And my assistant coaches that we have at Morgan, like I said, great Coach Sherman does a great job offensively with our guys. Coach Fant, one of the guys that Coach Brawley Evans, our recruiting coordinator, linebacker coach, does a great job. I mean, we have a bunch of guys that really, really genuinely care about the student athletes, and it shows on a daily basis. And that's why the academic numbers are where they are, and that's why some of the guys' production are where they need to be on the field. So we want to continue to build and continue to push our guys and push for a championship.
Not to mention, and just give a shout out. Your defense was, I believe, in the top 5 in the FCS when it came to turnovers. It's monumental. Hunter balled out his man. Well worth all the accolades he's getting. Jordan Tolles as well. The Aeneas Williams, the finalist for the award. Like, these are all things that I think not only does it show the character, of course, the player, but it also shows a reflection of the tutelage and the instructions and the teaching and the coaching that they're also getting as well.
And indeed, and some of the guys you just mentioned, man, those guys are going to have an opportunity to play on Sundays, and that's something that they dream about. They're on course to graduate. I'm extremely excited. Jordan Toll is a young man that's going to graduate in the spring. He just declared for the draft. He's a kid that I think has the ability to play on Sundays. Eric Hunter is one of those guys that you just mentioned, over 3.0 GPA, on course to graduate. Elijah Williams. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on, but these guys really push each other. These guys love the university and love what's going on at the university. So I really look forward to seeing these guys continue their playing careers.
All right, Coach. I'm gonna get off topic. I'm gonna get off script. We're gonna talk about campus safety right now, right?
Okay.
It needs to be talked about because it's starting to get out of hand, right? This question is about student safety and campus safety. Coach, last year Morgan State had a mass shooting. 5 people ended up getting injured at the homecoming celebration, which led to the homecoming game being canceled. The following week at Bowie State, they also had a shooting at their homecoming celebration, but that took place after the game. My question to you is, what type of safety measures do you feel needs to be put in place during homecoming celebrations so things like this won't happen?
Well, two things, and you mentioned 2 universities that are near and dear to me, and I know the presidents, well at both universities, and they've done a tremendous job trying to prevent such things from happening. It's unfortunate when you have people come to your campus and not understand the importance of what the meaning of that campus may mean to some others. So it's just a matter of continuing to increase the police presence and also try to limit some of the outside folk coming to campus that may not have a good agenda at mind. I think, you're talking about 2 of the HBCUs in the state of Maryland, but you have a number of other shootings at other universities.
Right.
And, it's important to understand that we must keep our academic entities safe at all times. And that's, HBCUs, PWIs, whatever it may be. That's not a place for that. It's not our students involved. Most of the time, it's someone off campus that doesn't understand the importance of, attending a university.
And it's tough because you take an outside person with no good intention to come to one. I've always said that this is just my philosophy. If you feel like you got to take a weapon to an event that is supposed to be celebratory, then you shouldn't even go.
Indeed.
Like your intentions already from the beginning are no good.
True.
So we got to get to a point, as over the world, the nation, and our community, we got to start getting to a point where we actually, enjoy and love each other enough to like we could go out and have fun and no violence pop off. If you feel like you got to take a weapon to an event, then you should just stay home. You shouldn't even go. So to all those out there, take heed. University campuses, homecoming is a celebration. It's not a place of violence. It's a place of love. You got your alumni from way before. You got the events going on. Like, enjoy the festivities. Feel the embrace, because you can feel the energy on campus when you get there. So it's not like the environment is already shifting. So, with that being said, we hope and pray for the best going forward. And yes, some security measures does need to take place. But Coach, we thank you very much for being with us, man. It's always a pleasure. We look forward to the 2024 season. I can't wait for spring ball to open up, man.
We'll be there.
I'm so looking forward to it, man. So thank you again for always opening up your arms. A lot of people may not know, but
we got our start with Coach.
I've shared this so many times that, we just appreciate you for,
giving us
that chance, but seeing that it wasn't just a chance for notoriety. Like, we really want to spread the word, and we really want to be a plug and the importance of being able to show and tell the narrative of HBCUs from that perspective, from the inside going out, and not from the outside going in, to show what that truly means and what that truly looks like.
Hey guys, once again, I truly appreciate you guys. And I remember when you first reached out to me a couple of years ago, I didn't know what in the world I was getting myself into. But I'm so thankful. I think it was a Sunday. That Sunday I came over to the studio and met with you guys that Sunday evening and did our first interview. Once again, you guys have come a long way, man. You guys are really passionate, and I think you're putting out a good product. So once again, man, I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you as a university. And if there's anything that we can do to continue to help you move this platform forward, let me know, please.
Will do, man.
Will do. Thank you,
again,
Coach.
Pits and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Yes.
Season 5, Episode 4. Morgan State University Bears. Coach Damon Wilson. Set the trap. 2024. MEAC. Look out.